This is my 2002 DR-Z400S that I've had since 2006, and you can see here that this wiring mess pretty much looks like an electrician's nightmare. I've added and changed things over the years, and there's a lot of extra wiring and a lot of extra connectors that I need to eliminate and basically make things more reliable. So what we're going to do is add a little fuse power distribution block and get rid of this relay and all of that extra wiring. Before I tear all this wiring apart, I should describe a little bit about what my technique is here. So right there we have a relay. That relay pulls power directly from the battery, and then the relay is energized through the ignition switch. It's the yellow wire. So this connects right there to a factory. It was just a blank terminal. There was nothing plugged into that. So as soon as I turn a key on, that fires the relay, and then that powers up my grip heaters, my 12-volt USB accessory port up there, and also my GPS power, which that's what this mess is here. I'm running a Garmin Zumo XT, and it uses this little power brick. Here's the little power box that I'm going to install. It's Tusk brand, marketed by Rocky Mountain MC. They came out with this probably about 4 or 5 months ago, and it was out of stock for a while, and when it came back in stock, I ordered 2 of them. It's got 3 circuits. Let's talk about the item itself first. So it's all bundled up inside of the package here. Let's get this rubber band off. So we have 3 outputs numbered 1, 2, and 3, and then we have our negative wire, we have a positive wire that goes to the battery, and then we have this blue wire, which is an ignition triggered wire. So this hooks up to a power lead that is only active when the ignition switch is on. And then inside we have 3 different fuses. It's good for, I believe, a total of 15 amps. So you would want to not have more than 15 amps total here. So you would size these appropriately. If you needed to have one of these 10 amps, then you would need to have something less than 5 in either of these 2. Anyway, if we look real close inside, you can see that series of little dip switches. So you also see the little C and then the S. So if we move the switch to the left towards the C, that means that circuit is then constant power. If we move it to the right where we see that little tiny S, then it's switched, meaning that circuit is only live when the ignition switch is turned on. So it uses this really compact fuse where the blades are kind of integrated into the body. I'll have an Amazon link down in the description below to a fuse kit that I ordered so I can have smaller capacity fuses for this. So it does come with an assortment of fuses. For connection, we've got these 3 small connectors here. It does also have a little rubber cover to seal it up. But then there's 2 different ways you can connect everything. You can splice these onto the wires that you have in your motorcycle or UTV, and then connect this to that. The other thing that it comes with is buried in here. We have this style connector and all of the pins so that you could take that connector and install it on your own wiring. So that's what I have done in my particular installation, and I'll show that once I get over to the bike and start describing how it's installed. It comes with a handful of zip ties, and it does also include, here's all the spare fuses, it does also include a fuse hole puller. And then we've got a little instruction sheet and a little piece of foam double-sided tape to mount it somewhere under your seat or whatever. Let's take a look at the dimensions of it so you can get a good perspective of how small it is. It's just under 3 inches. It looks like it's about 2 7/8. And we have about 1 3/8 inches. And then our height or depth, whatever you want to call it, if you include the rubber cover, we're looking at 3/4 of an inch. And then our output leads are about 4 inches-ish, and then these leads are actually 11. So let's take a look at the wiring that I'm going to be using for this project. Of course, I'll have Amazon affiliate links down in the description below. I've got 2 different sizes of wire. This is a duplex wire, which means it has 2 wires grouped together. We've got a little loop of 16 gauge, and then I have a little bit of a loop of 18 gauge. Both of these packages are 10 feet long. That's more than enough to do at least 2 motorcycles as far as the wiring in it, some accessories. One of the things that's tricky about finding wire on Amazon is to get wire that is not copper clad aluminum. We want wire that's copper all the way through, and this is a stranded copper wire, so it's nice and flexible. So looking back at the DR-Z, I used some 14 gauge duplex wire to route from the battery up to the input of the Tusk accessory box, and then my 16 and 18 gauge wire that I showed earlier, I used that to go from the output of the accessory fuse block to my actual accessories. I took the seat off, I took the tank off, and followed the main wiring harness that runs up along the backbone of the bike. Got that all routed up here, and then crimped my connectors like I had mentioned earlier. I crimped those directly onto the wires, and then I have all the wiring bundled up here with a Velcro strap situated where I can still get the headlight shroud on. And this doesn't impede the ability to get the headlight shroud installed. And that's pretty much it. There's really not enough room back there by the battery to mount this, nor did it look like there was enough room under the seat. Plus, having it up here, it's a little bit easier to access if I was on a trip. It would be kind of a pain in the neck to try to get access to this if it was mounted somewhere in the back, because a person would have luggage strapped down to the bike and you'd have to unload your luggage and everything off the bike to get access if you had a fuse blow. But in all the years of riding, I've never had any issues with my electrical blowing fuses, so I don't expect to have any need to ever get access to this, but we definitely want to have it someplace where we can get easy access to it. So we'll kind of zoom in and take a closer look at this. You can see here that I've labeled each circuit. Number 1 is my GPS, number 2 is my grip heaters, and number 3 is my USB port, which is up here next to the instrument panel. So I follow the same numbering scheme and circuit arrangement that I have on all my other bikes. I'm always using number 1 as GPS, 2 is grip heaters, and then number 3 is USB. So like I had mentioned earlier, everything that I've shown in this video, I'll have Amazon affiliate links down below. I don't have enough of a subscriber base yet to have an affiliate system set up through Rocky Mountain, but Rocky Mountain sells a lot of their products through Amazon, so that works out really good. You can order from Amazon, get free shipping, and then on top of that, I earn just a little bit of a sales commission through Amazon, so that works out really good. And a lot of times what I do is turn right around and reinvest that Amazon affiliate income into more parts for my next bike or to do upgrades to my existing bikes. So we're going to go ahead and get the headlight shroud reinstalled, and that pretty much wraps up this project.